from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Tapia with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. How are you doing?
Good morning. That's that drum beat. That's that drum beat. Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond.
Do you believe what you just said? You're talking about Andre Drummond as the savior of the Lakers.
Yeah, that's all we needed.
I can't wait
That's
to
all
talk
we
about
needed.
this.
That's all we needed.
Huh.
Yeah.
That was a good line.
I told you your day was coming.
As
I
the
said, Skip, your day
savior
coming.
of the Lakers.
It has come to this
It's
for
here.
you.
He is coming. We will get to that, I promise, guys. And I'm very much looking forward to what you both have to say about it. But we do have to begin with some NFL news because the NFL draft order, it got shaken up over the weekend thanks to a couple of trades. So let me break it down. First, the 49ers traded up from 12th to number 3 from the Dolphins. That also cost San Francisco 2 future first-round picks and a third. Shortly after that, the Dolphins then swapped that 12th pick with the Eagles for their 6th overall selection and a 5th round pick. And then Miami also gave up a future first-round pick along with a 4th rounder to Philly. So, simply put, it is now Niners at 3, Dolphins at 6, Eagles at 12. Shannon, what is going on here?
Well, I like what the Niners did, Skip. It tells me they're in position to get a quarterback, and they felt that where they were sitting at the 12th spot, they were not going to get a player that they wanted. But they also picked up a first and a third round in the process of doing this. So they got to feel good with where they are, Skip. Miami picked up a first and third. But the 49ers, it tells me Jimmy G is not in their long term. Now, Skip, he might be in their immediate future. He might even get a start this year. He might play some this year. But it tells me they're going up to get a quarterback. Now, everybody believes that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the first quarterback off the board. Everybody's oohing and ahhing about Zach Wilson pro day. But if you go back and look at it, I have not seen a quarterback in the last 20 years have a bad pro day except Teddy Bridgewater, and that's because he played his whole career with gloves, and all of a sudden he wanted to be without a glove. So other than that, every quarterback looks good. Hell, ain't nobody rushing you. You're throwing the guys that you know. They diagram exactly what you're going to be good at on that particular day. So I'm not surprised. But the 49ers going up tells me they want a quarterback. Miami, now, when they moved all the way back to 12, I was like, okay, they sitting pretty. But Skip, but when they come back up to 6, it tells me they have someone else in mind also that they believe. Is Jamar Chase what they're looking at? Is a Kyle Pitts, is that someone they're looking at? Is Penei Sewell, is that someone they're looking at? It tells me, Skip, they're still in prime position to get not a quarterback, but get a player. Skip, 12 is really kind of like 12, 15, and that's kind of like no man's land. Yeah, you can get good value. You know, you can find a great player in there. But normally, you know, you really want the guys that's in that top 10, and now they position themselves. They move up. They give up one of those first-round picks, but they still got a first and a third that they got from the San Francisco 49ers. I like Skip. I'm trying to read the tea leaves. I'm like, okay, they did this. Are they trying to build around Tua? Do they still feel they can get a quarterback at 6? Mac Jones? Is someone going to fall? Is somebody? So I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't. But I do know this. When they moved up from 12 to 6, it told me they still have an eye on someone that they potentially believe could be there, and they can go get it. So maybe it's one of those receivers. Now, I don't know if Kyle Pitts, that tight end, is going to be there. But, Skip, it's hard for me to believe that if Kyle Pitts is sitting on that board at 6, the Miami Dolphins pass him up. So I like what they've done, but I love what the 49ers did. They have an idea. One of those quarterbacks, Fields or Zach Wilson, will be there. And it seems to me, because they didn't move from, 12 to 2, it says, you know what? Yeah, we like Zach Wilson, but you know what? We'll take Fields. Yeah, we like Fields, but if he's not there, we'll take Wilson. I love what the 49ers did. I love what the Dolphins did. I don't know what the hell the Eagles are doing.
Okay, I'm going to start with your first statement, and then I'll go down the line.
Okay.
You love what the San Francisco 49ers did.
Yes, because they believe their quarterback is the missing link.
The harder I look at what the 49ers did, the less I like it. It boggles my mind. I don't see the plan. I don't get it. You realize they just mortgaged their whole future to go from 12, not to 2, but just to 3. Okay? Right. So they gave up. Obviously, they're going to swap the picks in the first round.
Right.
But then they gave up a first and a third in 2022 and a first in 2023 to move up 9 spots from 12 to 3. To get what? Because the problem is, if they had given all that to go to 2, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't. So they're going to be beholding to the Jets. They're going to have to take leftovers. They're going to have to wait and see what the Jets do at 2, unless they have such reconnaissance that they know what the Jets are going to do.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. We might have the same grade on those 2 players, so we're not upset if we get Fields or we get Zach Wilson, because if we have the exact same grade, what are we missing out on?
Okay, but that's such a reach for me. And again, I'm on record. After Trevor Lawrence, I don't see a slam dunk. I don't see a guaranteed cinch franchise quarterback after that. I have my doubts about all the rest of them. And the more and harder I look at Mac Jones, the more I must admit he's growing on me, because I read all the second and third level stats, and they're just off the charts.
He's very polished.
He's very polished, but he had a track team of receivers. He had 2 more first-rounders this year, obviously. He had a first-round back catching passes and obviously running for him. And he had a thoroughbred offensive line ahead of him that's stocked with potential first-round picks.
Yes.
So I don't know how much to discount his year. But if you just look at the numbers, they are extraordinary. They're beyond Joe Burrow numbers from a year ago.
They were.
They're beyond Kyler numbers from 2 years ago.
They were.
And it's hard to say no to that, because you say, well, he's not that athletic. But I watched him a lot. And when he needs to move, he moves okay.
Right.
He can hurt you enough to make you at least honor his ability to run a little bit.
Right.
Okay, so I immediately thought, is it possible that the head coach that you watch grow up in your locker room, Kyle Shanahan, obviously the son of your coach, Mike Shanahan, is it possible he fell so in love with Mac Jones that he said, I got to go get him? Well, if that gets out, if that's the signal sent, then the Jets are so, they're so tied to public opinion that they sway with the wind in New York City with the back page headlines. That if all of a sudden the tabloids start screaming that, uh-oh, the 49ers have moved up to take Mac Jones, will that encourage the Jets then to say, well, maybe we should be thinking about Mac Jones, right?
Well, Skip, if your evaluators don't have it, you can't just take somebody because somebody else wants him. That might be a situation.
But it seems like the Jets always do what the public says they should do.
Well, that's what happens when you're in New York. Skip.
Okay, it happens. It happens. So I agree with you about Zach Wilson's pro day. Listen, I'll go back to, I'll go all the way back to Kyle, as I nicknamed him. Kyle, I should have been a bowler.
Right.
He sat on his knees at the 50-yard line and threw it between the uprights, and everybody said, oh, my God.
Right.
Here he is. Here's the next savior of the Ravens.
Correct.
No, he was not.
No.
Then I go to Alex Smith's pro day. Standing ovation because not a single ball hit the ground, and he turned out to be okay. Just okay, but not a life changer, right? And then Sam Darnold, a guy you liked, it was in the rain at USC, his pro day. I'm pretty sure not a ball hit the ground, and I can't remember if he got an ovation, but they were raving about Sam Darnold's pro day.
And Jamarcus Russell threw it 82 yards.
He threw it 82 yards. It just doesn't matter. Johnny Manziel lit up his pro day. In fact,
with the former president,
Bush Sr. was there, right? And they cranked up the rap music, and then they were just killing it, right? Just killing it. And it mattered none, right? Okay, so we got that. So I'm still not sold on Zach Wilson, but I must admit I didn't watch enough, except I did watch the Coastal Carolina game. And I know they got sort of thrown into the fire in it, and it was a